Good Morning Britain ratings have begun picking up again, but is still a far cry away from its peak of 1.9 million prior to Piers Morgan's departure in March. Viewership for the ITV breakfast show reached an average of 620,000 on Tuesday, June 22, in comparison to a low of 450,000 tuning in on June 1. Tuesday's episode also saw a peak of 940,000 viewers watching the programme at 8:15 a.m., and the show had an average share of 21% of viewership. Good Morning Britain shares of viewing remains up since January 2021, averaging a 22.7% share, which is 0.7% more than the show's share in 2020, and 1.9% more than in 2019. A spokesperson for ITV told Mail Online, Good Morning Britain is currently seeing its highest share of viewing in a decade alongside ITV's other flagship daytime shows Lorraine and This Morning. It is understood the show has seen an almost 20% rise in viewers of House People with Children, which is a key commercial demographic for breakfast audiences for the programme. From January to May, the demographic makes up an average 27.4% shares for the programme, which is 4.2% more than 2020. Meanwhile, viewers in the 16 to 34 age bracket has also seen a rise, with over 49% tuning into the show from January to May, and averaging a 25.4% share of viewership, an 8.4% increase since 2020. On June 1, Good Morning Britain's ratings plunged to just 450,000 viewers on Tuesday's episode. It comes after Piers claimed ITV bosses had been in touch asking him to return to the show, after he sensationally quit following his comments about Meghan Markle and subsequent on-screen clash with co-star Alex Beresford. The June 1 edition of GMB was hosted by Adil Ray and Ranveer Singh, with a small number of viewers watching following the May bank holiday. A mere 450,000 viewers tuned into the programme, one of the lowest figure in the show's 7-year history, and a far cry from the heyday when Piers was on the panel. It was just 12 weeks earlier that GMB brought in its highest ever viewership, with a peak of 1.9 million viewers watching the panel react to the Meghan and Harry Oprah interview, which had aired overnight. Its viewership averaged out at 1,151,400 million. The following day, March 9, an average of 1.29 million viewers saw Piers storm off GMB after clashing with Alex Beresford about the Meghan and Harry interview following its broadcast on UK screens. That programme ended up being Piers' last, as just hours later he announced he'd quit the show. Following news that Piers had quit, the first show following his exit on March 10 saw ratings quickly take a hit, with an average of 1.24 million viewers watching Susanna react to her presenting partner's exit alongside stand-in Ranveer. At odds, Piers stormed off GMB in March as he discussed the Harry and Meghan interview, where he expressed his belief that Meghan was lying during the chat with Oprah Winfrey. Numbers continued to slide as the week went on, and by the week's end ratings had slipped to just 850,000 viewers. By Monday, March 15, average viewers were down by 255,700 compared to the previous Monday. Since then, numerous presenters have filled Piers' spot, while producers reportedly search for a permanent replacement to begin work in September. Last week Piers claimed ITV bosses had been in touch asking him to return to GMB, telling The Sun he believes he could take the ratings back to where he left them after a slump in viewing figures. He said, "They reached out, there have been approaches. Never say never. I have no doubt I could take the ratings back to where I left them, but the doubt is, would anyone be allowed to do it that way again? I was hired to give very strong, honestly held opinions, which I did. But in the end I was asked to apologize for a genuinely held opinion." He added, "I have had some quite random third-party feelers put out to see if I would consider a return to the show." Piers stormed off GMB in March as he discussed the Harry and Meghan interview, where he expressed his belief that Meghan was lying during the chat with Oprah Winfrey and that the couple damaged the royal family's reputation. The outspoken host left the daytime series after he insisted he didn't believe a word of Meghan's account of suffering suicidal thoughts and experiencing racism at the hands of the royal family. Piers then walked off set after a fierce debate with Alex, in which the weather presenter accused Piers of unfairly trashing Meghan, and branded him diabolical. When Piers walked off screen, Alex continued, "I'm sorry but Piers just spouts off on a regular basis and we have to sit there and listen." Piers, who refused to apologize, later announced his resignation and tweeted his thanks to the GMB team, praising them for their hard work and dedication that led to them beating their main breakfast TV rival. And Piers shared his own reflections on the events of that fateful week in a piece for the Mail on Sunday shortly afterwards. Piers called Alex GMB's occasional stand-in weatherman and uptight in the telling account, adding that the presenter hasn't messaged him since his exit, unlike others on the show. Shares in ITV also plunged in the wake of his resignation, with almost £200 million wiped off the company's value overnight and share prices dropping by 3.8%. A TV insider also said a bidding war is now on to secure the services of Piers, who is also editor-at-large for Mail Online. ITV was also said to be interested in the BBC's Victoria Derbyshire as Piers' replacement, according to reports. Derbyshire, who appeared on ITV's I'm a Celebrity last year, currently presents the news for the BBC after her award-winning current affairs programme was axed last March. A source told The Sun, ITV producers have been looking for the right platform for Victoria for a while. They think she is a real talent and one of the few opinionated TV journalists who could be a real powerhouse addition to GMB. She's not afraid to challenge guests, ask tough questions, get straight to the point and wax lyrical about what she believes in. They're using Piers' exit as an opportunity to trial new faces. Meghan is said to have raised concerns with ITV about the effect Piers' comments may have on the issue of mental health generally and those attempting to deal with their own problems. But Piers later repeated his condemnation of her interview when he told reporters outside his West London home, "If I have to fall on my sword for expressing an honestly held opinion about Meghan Markle and that diatribe of bilge that she came out with in that interview, so be it." He said, "I won't be going back, but thanks to everyone who has signed these petitions. Normally, people start petitions to have me fired or deported, so this is a pleasant surprise." In a 332-word statement shared on Instagram, the tough-talking journalist thanked his supporters and declared he was willing to stand my ground. He wrote, "To all my supporters, I just wanted to drop you a note of thanks. To all my haters, whatever. It has been an extraordinary week for me, for Britain, for our monarchy and for our future. Those of you that know me well enough know that, despite my many faults, I'm always willing to stand my ground for the things that I think matter most. My fervent opposition to the Iraq War led to my demise from the Daily Mirror. My outspoken views on the insanity of American gun laws led to the end of my time at CNN. And now I've lost my job at Good Morning Britain because I chose not to apologize for disbelieving Meghan Markle's claims in her interview with Oprah Winfrey. He added, I thus became the latest victim of the cancel culture that is permeating our country, every minute, of every hour, of every day. Though of course, I consider myself to be neither a victim, nor actually cancelled. However, I do believe the defense of free speech and the right to express honestly held opinions, is the most important issue of my career, and the most important issue in British society.